At number 10, Corinne Olympios. Like I said in my intro, celebrities are well known for getting plastic surgery here and there, so finding out that someone in Hollywood has gotten some work done really isn't all that surprising anymore. When fans ask about procedures you've had done, there's no reason to lie since these kinds of procedures aren't really all that taboo anymore. Turns out though that there are still some celebrities who want to make their fans believe that they are still au naturel even when that isn't necessarily the case. This happened with former Bachelor star Corinne Olympios after fans accused her of getting fillers when she said that she hadn't. In an attempt to try and disprove these fans' theories, Corinne posted some no makeup selfies, but fans still weren't fooled and they went digging. The people over at Us Weekly thought that this could be a scoop, and so they also went looking for some old pics of the reality star, and voila, they found some. Images from Corinne's high school yearbook were published and it showed her looking pretty different than she does now, proving that she really was lying about getting fillers. People also realized later that her no makeup selfies didn't really do much to prove whether or not that she had gotten work done, so it was really just a handful of lies on Corinne's part. At number 9, Kylie Jenner. We can't have a plastic surgery video without talking about Kylie Jenner. Apart from her sister Kim, Kylie is the next one you would think of when it comes to plastic surgery. Everyone knows Kylie for her signature big lips, but for a long time she denied ever getting work done. She built her entire makeup empire, Kylie Cosmetics, on her big lip brand because she claimed that for years she achieved her signature look by overlining her lips, and therefore the Kylie lip kits were born. Turns out though that this was all a lie, probably just to boost sales. Kylie famously lied about how she somehow achieved a new appearance overnight, claiming that her makeup skills were the reason, but in reality, it's all fillers. Kylie finally came clean about her plastic surgery journey in an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where she said, quote, "I was 15 and I was insecure about my lips. I would overline my lips with lip liner just to create an illusion of bigger lips. And then finally I was like, this lip liner isn't doing it. I ended up getting my lips done." She kept up her fillers until her daughter Stormi was born, where at that point she claimed to have gotten her filler dissolved, saying that she wanted to embrace a more natural look, but this didn't last for too long as fans noticed her lip filler made a return a short time later. Now before I carry on with the list, I'd like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also an exciting announcement. Lindsay Ivan is launching her own reaction channel, Peach, at the end of May, so go subscribe and tell her that we sent you. At number 8, Lady Gaga. Even though she sings about being born this way, that doesn't seem to be entirely true. Lady Gaga doesn't seem like the type to lie about her appearance, as she's been known to be a relatively open person, but it seems like her plastic surgery journey is something that she will lie about, and clearly she's been caught. In an interview with Harper's Bazaar, Gaga once claimed that she had never received any type of plastic surgery procedure, saying, quote, "I've never had any plastic surgery, and there are many pop stars who have. I think that promoting insecurity in the form of plastic surgery is infinitely more harmful than an artistic expression related to body modification." But it looks like her claim of being all natural was a lie. During an interview with Howard Stern, she accidentally revealed her affinity for injections and revealed that she had in fact gotten some work done, as she was once obsessed with getting facial injections. Though she may have resolved her obsession with Botox, she can't truly say that she's never gotten plastic surgery. Botox still counts, Gaga, but you still look fabulous regardless. At number 7, Sahar Tabar. Internet celebrity Sahar Tabar blew up on social media after she began posting pictures of herself with a dramatic look. She claimed that she had received 50 surgeries to achieve her drastic zombified look, claiming that the goal was to look like Angelina Jolie. A lot of people believed her story and took pity on her for having a botched look, but after shocking the internet, Sahar came clean about everything. Turns out everything was a lie. The zombie Angelina look, the story of how she got to look this way, and even her name turned out to be all one huge lie. Sahar's real name turned out to be Fatima Kishvand, and no, she hadn't really gotten 50 surgeries either. Instead, it was revealed that her entire corpse bride look came entirely from Dr. Photoshop. She came clean to her followers after posting a side-by-side comparison to her Instagram, showing how she really looks. She had been living this lie on the internet for quite some time, and because she had fooled so many people, and because her looks were so disturbing, she actually ended up getting in serious trouble with her government and was actually sent to jail because of it. Even though this was all a lie, the consequences were severe, and this served as a lesson to never tell a lie about your appearance. At number 6, Ashley Simpson. The 2000s were a seriously rough time for Ashley Simpson. First, she made major headlines after her cringy SNL lip sync fail, but to make things worse for her in the media, Ashley faced another scandal later on in 2006, this time for her appearance. In July of that year, Ashley appeared on the cover of Marie Claire magazine, where she was quoted saying that people should love their appearances and appreciate their bodies as they are. She essentially denounced getting plastic surgery and other alterations because natural is beautiful. But even after all that talk of being natural, Ashley went and got a nose job just shortly after the magazine hit newsstands. She was seen as a hypocrite, and the magazine's editors received thousands of angry letters as a result. People were disappointed that Ashley would make those kinds of comments while having gone under the knife herself. She pretty much just tried to shrug the whole thing off and waited for the whole scandal to blow over, continuing to deny having gotten the procedure done, but then her dad spilled the beans, confirming that she had in fact gotten a nose job. At number 5, Rose McGowan. Actress Rose McGowan is a pretty open person, so no one would expect her to lie about something as menial as plastic surgery, but surprise, surprise, it happened. Rose is comfortable bearing it all on the red carpet and opening up about her struggles in her memoir, but when it comes to her cosmetic procedures, that's where the lies come in. In the late 2000s, Rose was seen in public looking pretty different, and immediately the plastic surgery speculation began. When confronted about these rumors, Rose told the public that she had to get reconstructive surgery due to injuries that she had suffered in an accident, but later in her memoir Brave, she revealed that this was all a cover-up. Rose said that her publicist told her to make up this story for the public to make it seem like her new face was because of the accident, but in reality she had gotten surgery to fix a mistake a doctor had made when she had undergone a procedure for her sinuses. It was still a corrective procedure, but for a completely different reason than the one that she initially gave. At number 4, Barry Manilow. One celebrity who has continuously denied their plastic surgery is singer Barry Manilow. For years, there has been speculation that he's gone under the knife on a few occasions, but Barry insists that he's never gotten any work done. In an interview, Barry claimed to have only undergone surgeries and treatments for his health, getting hip surgery, and receiving steroid shots, but a lot of people aren't really buying that and have pretty much revealed that he's been lying. It's been reported over the years that Barry has received a facelift in 1995, a second facelift and eyelid surgery in 2003, and then a third facelift in 2005. There are even photos of Barry from 2003 showing him leaving the plastic surgeon's office in Beverly Hills. In the photos, he's pictured with his face wrapped up in bandages while wearing a disguise of sunglasses and a blonde wig to avoid getting recognized. Even though Barry continues to deny his procedures, even a celebrity plastic surgeon can't be fooled, with Dr. Tony Yoon saying that he thinks Barry has undergone too many procedures. But what do you guys think? Is Barry lying or telling the truth about his appearance? At number 3, Tyra Banks. For a long time, model Tyra Banks has been preaching about being all natural and about loving yourself for who you are. In the last few seasons of her show America's Next Top Model, she even made a point of proving to the modeling industry that everyone is beautiful by casting models of all shapes, sizes, and backgrounds, but now it's looking like this was all just hot air as she's been caught lying about getting work done. Tyra once claimed that she was, quote, totally against plastic surgery, even going so far as to hire a doctor to come on her talk show to perform a breast exam in front of her live studio audience to show that she had never gotten work done like people had claimed, but it seems as though maybe that doctor should have paid more attention to her face, because even though she's claimed to have never gone under the knife, it turns out that she's actually received a nose job. Tyra finally came clean about her procedure in her memoir Perfect is Boring, where she wrote, quote, natural beauty is unfair. I really get uncomfortable when women who are these natural beauties judge anybody who's done anything to themselves. I admit it. Fake hair and I did my nose. I feel like I have a responsibility to tell the truth. At number 2, NeNe Leakes. With a lot of the celebrities I've mentioned in this video, they've been denying having had plastic surgery, and then the truth was later revealed. But with reality star NeNe Leakes, her story is the complete opposite. NeNe has always been very vocal about the work that she's had done. From getting liposuction, a nose job, and breast augmentation surgery, she wasn't really hiding anything, but all of a sudden, her honesty about her past procedures completely went out the window. In 2013, she went on the Wendy Williams show and talked about how she was all for getting work done and spoke about how she was thinking of getting Botox in the future. Well, fast forward 2 years to 2013 and NeNe sat down for another interview, this time with Bethany Frankel, and straight up denied ever having had plastic surgery. Everyone could tell that she had gotten some fillers, and no one can forget all those times that she talked about her other surgeries. So when she claimed to be all natural, saying, quote, "Why would I need plastic surgery?" people were super confused and caught her in her lie. You can't take that kind of stuff back, NeNe. And finally, at number 1, Zac Efron. Now there's a lot of speculation with this one, so I'm gonna need you guys to sound off down in the comments and tell me whether or not you believe this. People are saying that Zac Efron has gotten some work done, and by some, I mean a lot. Zac recently showed up in a video about Earth Day looking a little different. The lower half of his face was looking super puffy, almost like he had gotten a lot of Botox done, and people are super confused. The internet was debating whether or not he had gotten plastic surgery, with some people chalking this all up to Zac simply getting wisdom teeth surgery, using that to explain all the puffiness, but others aren't so sure. According to one celebrity plastic surgeon, it looks like Zac may have gotten fillers to reshape his jawline. It's all just speculation and theory, but a lot of people are hoping that it's just a nasty reaction to a bee sting or something, and that this puffy swollen face of his is only a temporary look. What are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments.
Starting this list off at number 10 is Brandy. We have seen celebrities fake relationships in the past as a publicity stunt, but this one was one that just went too far. The singer and actress announced back in 2002 that she had gotten secretly married to a music producer, Robert Smith. She said they had a private wedding and kept it small. The relationship went on to be featured in Diary Presents Brandy, Special Delivery, which documented the birth of their daughter. Everything seemed to be genuine and normal, but in 2004 the truth came out and it was revealed that the two of them had split. Brandy went on the Oprah show and revealed that they had never actually been married in the first place and said that they lied. She was 6 months pregnant when she had gotten married, and she only lied about it because she didn't want people to judge her for having a child without being married. She ended up using her Oprah interview to issue a public apology. Is that forgivable? I mean, I don't care. What difference does it make? But I guess in the special, the show she had, it was all about their marriage and like baby, and it's like, you're not even married. Up next, number 9 is Jussie Smollett. His big lie was one of the biggest scandals in Hollywood in 2019, and it is still ongoing. Back in January of 2019, news articles started flooding with headlines that Jussie was involved in a hate crime after being attacked by 2 men. The reports claim that he was attacked with a rope around his neck and that they poured chemicals on him while yelling homophobic slurs. The 2 suspects were arrested, but in court they revealed that it was all set up by Jussie and showed a check that he had paid them to stage the entire thing. On February 21st, he was arrested on suspicion of filing a false police report and was charged with 6 counts of lying to police, all of which he pleaded not guilty to. But prosecutors ended up dropping all the charges. However, the Chicago police argued that he got away with it because of his celebrity status, so an investigation was opened and he is now set to head to trial. As of right now, at the time of this recording, reports say his lawyers have been given an additional 2 weeks to prepare their arguments. The tea. Swiping the number 8 spot is the White Stripes. Jack and Meg White were adored as band members in the famous rock band, but people thought they were siblings because that's what they told everyone. Turns out that is not true at all, and they were actually once married. A marriage license surfaced online revealing that they were married from 1996 to 2000. At first, the 2 of them denied the license was real and kept the whole sibling story, but then it was revealed to be real. Seems like a strange thing to lie about, in my opinion, right? Apparently the reason they lied is because they didn't think they would be taken seriously as musicians if they were a couple in the band, so they just told people that they were siblings and stuck to it. But how awkward would that have been if someone caught a picture or something of them kissing or holding hands or something? I don't know, I felt like that's so risky. Moving on to number 7, we have Kim Kardashian. She has been called out on numerous occasions for photoshopping her pictures, but it seems she took things a little too far in her latest Skims campaign. She released her ad for her shapewear brand Skims, and Kim can be seen drawing a finger over her hips and down into the dip of her waist. But as her finger trails down, it distorts and squiggles across the curve of her body. Immediately, people started calling her out, saying that there was a huge Photoshop fail and that it was very obvious, and questioned how she's selling a shapewear brand if she's going to sell it by photoshopping her body. Kim personally avoided the whole scandal like the plague, but her team removed the ad campaign and released a statement saying it was I quote, "An error as a result of the video losing its quality during the uploading process. No one bought that excuse, which was a straight up lie, because I work in film and I've had videos edited and I've edited videos and I've exported them, and that does not happen, even in the quality of the processing." Come on now. It didn't glitch anywhere else, just when she did it on her waist, y'all. Cruising into number 6, we have Lance Armstrong. The wildly successful athlete was caught in the most sophisticated and successful doping program the sport has ever seen, according to the US Anti-Doping Agency. People were shocked when the news first broke, but he later admitted it during his interview with Oprah that he in fact had been taking substances. But there was much more to it than just him taking them. He was involved in a professional doping program. He was stripped from his cycling titles and dropped by all of his sponsors, including Nike Inc. and Livestrong, and he was also banned from professional cycling races altogether. He ended up reaching a $5 million settlement with the government, but his career has never been the same since. In 2020 though, fans got to learn a lot more about the situation when a documentary called Lance came out, so if you're wanting to learn more on his career, the scandal, everything, go check that out. I've been intrigued. I have not, because I'm busy, but I have been interested. Halfway through our countdown at number 5, we have Kylie Jenner. Back in 2017, people were going crazy online about the rumors that Kylie was pregnant. Fans started speculating online and doing a deep dive on all her posts trying to prove that she was pregnant. Even paparazzi were doing all they could to get a photo that proved it, but she and her family kept denying it in all of their interviews. After she finally revealed the truth to the world, she explained that she lied about it because this was the one thing she wanted to not share with the world. Even her producers who filmed Keeping Up with the Kardashians with her said she hid it from them during filming her Life of Kylie season. But Kylie recently announced she is pregnant with her second child, and she is sharing this pregnancy with the world this time. You can't hide anything from fans. Or paparazzi. They always find out. In spot number 4, we have Brian Williams. The journalist, who is the father to actress Allison Williams, repeatedly told a story that claimed while he was on a reporting trip to Iraq in 2003, he was riding in a helicopter that came under fire and had to do an emergency landing. The story was believed every time he told it, until soldiers who were actually in the helicopter he was referring to came forward and told the truth. They revealed that Brian was not actually in the helicopter with them and said that he and his crew had actually arrived on scene about an hour after the helicopter performed its landing, which is obviously a very different story than the one that he was telling people. After being caught in the lie, he immediately apologized and claimed that he must have made a mistake and gotten his memories of the day mixed up. How do you? Come on. Oh, I just thought I remembered I was on this plane that went into flames. Like, give me a break, people. Taking over the 3rd spot is Ed Sheeran. Now, this one isn't as serious as the last one, but it is very funny. Back in 2016, he was sporting a new look that involved a cut on his face. When asked what had happened, he claimed it happened at a party with James Blunt and Princess Beatrice. Apparently, James jokingly asked Beatrice to knight him, and when she grabbed the ceremonial sword, she accidentally cut his face in the process. It seemed like a very random and strange story, but people believed it because, hey, weird stuff happens at parties all the time, especially when there's alcohol involved. But a year later, James spilled the beans about what really went down and admitted that the whole story that Ed told was a lie. Turns out Ed was just drunk and he was messing around and accidentally cut himself. He said that they thought it'd be really funny to make up this crazy fancy story, and then when people actually fell for it, they just stuck to it. And if you're wondering, Princess Beatrice had nothing to do with it, she was just randomly thrown into that story. Sniping number 2 spot is Rebel Wilson. While I'm sure a lot of people would like to lie about their age, I know I would, you can't really do that when working in the acting industry. In 2015, an Australian magazine called Woman's Day published an article that called out Rebel for apparently lying about her age, name, and certain claims about her upbringing. Her initial age was believed to be 29 years old at the time, but the magazine revealed she was actually 35. Also, her birth name is Melanie Elizabeth Bounce, and she apparently did not have the upbringing that she has talked about in interviews. Now, Rebel never admitted to lying, she actually did the opposite. She filed a lawsuit against various publications because many media outlets also claimed that her real age was 35. She never fought against the claims being true or not, but she said that painting her as a liar had affected her career and ability to land roles. Earning our #1 place is Martha Stewart. I'm sure we were all equally as shocked when news broke in December 2001 that she was allegedly involved in an insider trading scandal. Insider trading is where an individual buys or sells stocks that they have in a company using information that is not available to the public. That is what Google told me anyways. Don't quote me. An investigation was launched after she had denied being involved in anything, but it turns out that she was lying. She repeatedly denied doing any wrongdoing, claiming that she had an agreement with her broker to sell the shares if they went below a certain price, but that was proved to not be true. Martha ended up getting charged with security fraud, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy. She was sentenced to 5 months in jail and 5 months of house arrest after that, and 2 years probation, and later had to pay $195,000 to settle a civil case with the Security and Exchange Commission. Kicking off our countdown list at #10 is Loughlin. The actress and mom was caught in a huge lie that had both her and her husband behind bars. Back in 2019, news broke that she had been caught in a college admissions scandal that involved her 2 daughters, $500,000, and forged test scores. All of these lies were told to try to get her daughter's early admissions into a very competitive school. She and her daughter even faked rowing pictures to try to make her profile better, even though she is not a rower. Like, at all. The truth all came out and the entire family took the heat for these lies. Lori was given 2 months in prison and a $150,000 fine, 2 years of supervised release, and 100 hours of community service. Her husband received 5 months in jail, and her one daughter Olivia Jade, who's in the spotlight, faced a ton of backlash online and was dropped by a lot of her brand partnerships. Up next, #9 is Bill Clinton. It was one phrase that he lied about constantly, and it was that lie that launched one of the biggest scandals in political history. The phrase being, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman." It was his denial about having an affair on his wife Hilary Clinton with a White House intern named Monica Lewinsky. However, the truth came out and involved secret tapes and an ongoing sexual relationship between the two of them. It was his actions and his lie that led to his impeachment in 1998 for lying under oath. Bill and Hilary, who stayed together despite the affair, recently opened up about the scandal in a 2020 Netflix documentary called Hilary. In the documentary, he said the affair was a way of managing his anxieties, and the reason he lied was because of the risk. He admitted that he knew it was bad for his family, bad for the country, and bad for people who worked with him during that time. Some of them knew, y'all. Some of them knew, and they were too scared to tell anyone because they would lose their job. Would you tell? No. That's the President of the United States. I ain't telling shit if I work in the White House. Cruising in #8, we have Paris Hilton. She has been in a few controversies throughout her career, but one of them led to her arrest. And it just so happened to be the one where she was caught in a bunch of lies. The lie came when she did an interview with Larry King and told him that she had never done illegal substances. She told him she took Adderall and explained that she has ADD and has to take it. However, that seemed to be a lie because in 2010 she was arrested in Las Vegas for having illegal substances in her possession. She was found in a car with her boyfriend at the time when officers saw smoke wafting from the car. They decided to investigate what was going on and they found more than they were expecting. She ended up pleading guilty to substance possession and obstructing an officer. She did not receive prison time, if you remember the story, but she did walk away with a hefty probation, community service hours, and a fine. Sniping the #7 spot is Flo Rida. Back in 2014, he was facing a huge scandal in his career when his former assistant came forward claiming that he had underpaid her. A woman named Mahogany Miller sued him in 2012, claiming that he worked her to her bone for chump change and then fired her when she complained about the low wages. The lawsuit dragged on for more than 2 years, with the rapper claiming his innocence, lying and saying that her claims were not true. But apparently that was all just one big lie, and she had some evidence to back it up when it came to fighting this in court. She was his administrative assistant and said she worked 65 hours a week while being paid less than the minimum wage. Is that even legal? In 2014, he agreed to settle it and pay her just under $9,000 and then another $10,000 to her attorneys. Rolling into number 6, we have Steve Rannazzisi. The comedian made one of the worst decisions in his career when he decided to lie about escaping the 9/11 attacks. The worst part was he kept up this charade for years until he got exposed. During interviews, he would often speak about how he followed his dream of being a comedian due to the terrifying events of that day. In 2009, he claimed he had been working for Merrill Lynch on the 54th floor of the South Tower when the first plane hit. He spoke in detail about what happened in that moment and everything that he remembered from that day. However, in 2015, evidence surfaced and proved that his story was a lie. There was no record of him ever working in the World Trade Center, and on that day, there was evidence that he was actually in Midtown. The comedian came forward admitting that he lied about the whole thing and said, "I was not at the Trade Center on that day. I don't know why I said this. This was inexcusable. I am truly, truly sorry." Yeah, I ain't got nothing to say. I don't know how you lie about something like that. And why. Anyways, I'll go on a rant. Taking the halfway point to number 5 is the writer James Frey. A report showed that James was caught lying to Oprah and to the readers of his memoir. James was caught lying about many events that were shared in his book, a book that was initially praised for its work on love, loss and addiction, all while being featured for a top pick on Oprah's book club. Though shortly afterwards, the public would later find out that James Frey made the entire thing up, leading for James's career to immediately take a turn for the worse as his agency dropped him and his publisher filed a class action lawsuit against him. Later, James was confronted by Oprah about his dishonesty, with Oprah confessing that she finds it difficult to even talk to him in the interview as she doesn't know what's the truth and what is false. Not to mention the millions of readers that were deceived by his untruthful writing. Moving on to number 4, we have Bow Wow. The American rapper was caught being dishonest when he posted an Instagram picture flexing his private jet and luxury lifestyle. But Bow Wow was spotted by a fellow passenger on a commercial flight in economy class. From connecting the dots, fans were able to trace down the original photo posted on Instagram of the private jet to the stock photo that a fan took on Snapchat and exposed him. After being called out for this, Bow Wow couldn't live it down and was mocked on social media, with the hashtag Bow Wow challenge trending all over Twitter afterwards, of people essentially posting side-by-side images, with the first one being seemingly glamorous and the second image showing the harsh reality. Now, there is nothing wrong with flying economy class, but like, why'd you feel the need to lie, man? Like, did you really think no one would see you on that flight? Taking the third spot on this list is Tiger Woods. Seeing Woods in controversial headlines is nothing new, but this lie was one of the biggest. During a golf tournament, Tiger Woods apparently had a disagreement with his opponent, Sergio Garcia. Later on in the match, Tiger Woods interacted with the course marshals, with the marshals giving Woods permission to swing, even though his opponent was supposed to be going first. This led to the distracting crowd impairing Sergio's game because of the noise that Woods sparked, though when the course marshals were asked about the incident and why it happened, they did not recall giving Woods permission to continue. This miscommunication led Tiger Woods to win the series, leaving a forever standing feud between the two players, as Sergio felt like he was at the major disadvantage due to Tiger's actions, which he kinda was. In recent interviews, Tiger Woods has actually admitted in multiple interviews about his deceptive behaviors, and even stated that he was living a lie and that he did this because he found it fun. Cruising through to number 2, we have the infamous Kanye West phone call to Taylor Swift. This crazy story starts with Kanye purposely leaking video and audio footage of the conversation that he had with Taylor over the phone. The leaked footage made it seem like Taylor gave full permission for Kanye to use the line, I quote, "I made that boop famous" in one of his new singles. But in reality, Kanye never actually read that line to Taylor, and he put the explicit lyric in his song without her consent. After Kanye leaked the edited conversation to the public, many people were quick to send Taylor Swift an absurd amount of hate, claiming that she was in the wrong because in the audio Kanye leaked, she was clearly fine with being mentioned in the song that way. Though nearly 4 years later, the truth would come out with the full unedited unedited conversation being actually leaked, with this version showing the full story and how Taylor never actually gave permission to Kanye. And during their phone call, Taylor clearly felt uncomfortable when asked if it was okay if she would be mentioned in the song, but Kanye did not seem to care as he proceeded to make jokes about it. With the shocking news that Taylor was wrongfully accused this whole time and undeservingly given hate by millions of people on social media, many felt instant sympathy for her. I did, but I never believed Kanye anyway. And last but not least, taking our number 1 spot, we have the Tonya Harding incident. Tonya was a very successful competitive figure skater that was praised for her dedication and outstanding skills in figure skating. After being the best in her craft, she began to be challenged by Nancy Kerrigan. Nancy was a figure skater that had a long-standing rivalry with Harding, and it ended up being that Nancy was the one person in the way of Tonya making her way to the Olympic team. Tonya's greed for success led her to scheme against Nancy to hire a hitman to intimidate her with a club. The hitman acted accordingly and promptly hit Nancy on her knee, leaving Nancy injured and unable to compete. With a full investigation going on about the attack, the team behind the attack would confess in the planning behind it, though Tonya insisted to not be involved. Later on, Tonya and Nancy would compete against each other, and with Tonya being on the bad side of the karma, she ended up coming in 8th, while Nancy took 2nd place. In due course, after the competition, the evidence mounted against Tonya continued to grow, and she eventually pleaded guilty to the attack. Everyone was waiting for that, leaving her with her figure skating titles taken away from her, and she was banned from the USFSA forever. Y'all, this documentary or movie or whatever is actually really interesting. You should go watch it. It's a cool story.
Kicking things off at number 10, Hilary Duff. Former Disney star Hilary Duff is known to have lied about her age. Unlike many other celebs though, she didn't lie about her age to book a role. Hilary actually lied in order to get into clubs when she was younger. She revealed that when she was younger, she used her sister Haley's ID to get into clubs, though she was always recognized. I don't think people actually believed her lies when she was trying to get into clubs when she was underage. People probably just knew that she was famous and they let her in just to make themselves look better. Ironically, she's been on a show called Younger, and the series is literally about lying about your age. Talk about coincidence. I guess all that time faking her age really paid off in the long run. At number 9, Eminem. Rapper Eminem is caught lying about his age during a Howard Stern interview back in 1999. This was at the start of his career, so maybe he just wanted to start things off by having people think he's younger than he really is. In the interview, the rapper told Stern that he was 24, but later on people realized that he was born in 72, and at the time of the interview he would have been 27. Some people thought that maybe he just forgot how old he was for real, but we may never know. Also, side note, I didn't know Eminem was that old. I've been here thinking he was like in his 30s for the longest time, but turns out he's almost 50. I'm honestly shocked. In at 8, Jennifer Lopez. Up next, we're talking about Jenny from the block. J-Lo was caught lying about her age back in 1999. A lot of this stuff happens in 99. For a while, she had been telling people that she was born in 1970 and that she was 29 at the time, but following a nightclub shooting in 99, she and P. Diddy, her boyfriend at the time, were brought in for questioning, and that's when the truth came out about her age. When police ran her through the system, they noticed that her information didn't quite match up, and so she had to come clean and reveal that she's actually a year older than she claimed she was, and that she was born in 1969 and was actually 30 years old at the time of the incident. Now, don't get me wrong, J-Lo is still looking fuego, but why did she feel the need to shave off a year? Just 1 year doesn't really make much difference, but I guess she just wanted to live her 20s one last time. Coming in at number 7, Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg is known for acting in productions like The Color Purple, Sister Act, and Star Trek Next Gen. She's played some pretty iconic roles, but did you know that she actually lied about her age to get a lot of these roles? Unlike many other stars who say that they're younger than they truly are to get ahead in the industry, Whoopi actually claimed to be 6 years older than she really was. Whoopi has said that she needed to pretend to be closer to her 40s in order to get a role. This lie started back in 1986 when the actress was 30, but told producers that she was 6 years older in order to book a job, so she claimed to have been born in 1949. This is not very common to see a celebrity say that they're older, since most of them want to preserve their youth in the media, but Whoopi did it to secure her bag, so props to you, Whoopi. In at 6, Jay-Z. There's been some confusion surrounding Jay-Z's age. On a radio talk show, host Troy Turan claimed that he and Jay-Z were actually the same age and were both 50. He went on to say that the idea that he was in his mid-40s was made up and that his real age was 50. A lot of people bought into that and just assumed that Jay-Z was lying and that he just wanted to seem younger than he really was. But then records came out showing that Jay-Z was in fact born in 1969, making him 44 years old when the speculation
speculation came about. But I think that he's still lying about his age. I think he's much older than that, since he's a high-ranking member of the Illuminati. This guy is for sure immortal, and maybe his records say that he was born in 1969, but really, he could have been born in 1769, and he's been alive ever since. Halfway through at number 5, Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg is one of the most coveted directors in Hollywood, and his origin story, if you will, is one of the most unbelievable tales. Basically, the story goes that he was 21 and he snuck into the Universal Studios lot, found a vacant studio, and basically became a squatter there. He pretended to work there for months until he got caught, but then his film career took off from there. But there seems to be some discrepancies with his story, mostly concerning his age in that tale. Though he recounts that this happened in 1969 when he was 21, it turns out that if his birth date is correct and he was actually born in 1946, this means that he was actually 22 or 23 at the time. But on the other hand, he's also said that his time of sneaking into the Universal lot took place in 1965, and that means that he was 17 at the time, which really means that he was 18 or 19. Basically, the bottom line here is no one knows what happened and at what time and how old he was then. I think he's stuck in a time loop, honestly. There's just too many dates and times to keep track of. At 4, Nicki Minaj. Rapper Nicki Minaj is another celeb who's lied about how old she really is. For a long time, she had us believing that she was born in 1984, but turns out she's actually 2 years older and was actually born in 1982. Her age discovery actually happened in a similar way to J-Lo. Nicki was arrested in 2011, but when she was brought in by police and had to record the incident at hand, it was then that her real age was revealed, showing that she was 2 years older than she said she was. I think she lied about being younger to appeal to her demographic, since her music and her image was so colorful and upbeat. Her career was still fairly new, so marketing herself to the right audience was still important. But still, only 2 years? 2 years really isn't that much of a difference. Coming in at number 3, Rebel Wilson. After a high school photo of the actress resurfaced, Rebel was forced to come clean about her age. Although she had been claiming to be 29, the source revealed that she was actually 36. That's a pretty big jump, but you wouldn't have believed it if she didn't say anything. One of Rebel's former classmates was actually the one to call her out for lying. She said that the actress was born in 1979 and graduated high school in 97. Rebel came out saying that she felt hurt when she was called out. She also went on to say that in the film industry, a lot of people face ageism and sexism, so she wanted to seem younger in order to avoid this. She was so cheesed that she even took the publication who leaked her age to court and won just over $3 million for the defamation case because she claimed that the leak cost her jobs because of her age. In at number 2, Nelly. Rapper Nelly really bamboozled a lot of people when the truth came out about his age. Back in 2003, Nelly was included in Teen People's list of the hottest stars under 25. Obviously, to be eligible for this list, you have to be under the age of 25. That's kind of a given. So Nelly and his representatives told the publication that Nelly was 22 at the time, and so he was accepted and put on the list. Later on, it was discovered that he lied about his age to get into the publication, but this was not a little lie. Oh no. Instead of being 22 like he said, he was actually 28. That's a big jump. If you're gonna lie about your age on that list, I'd understand if you were like, oh, I'm 24, but you're actually 25. Like, that's not a big deal. But to go from like, oh, I graduated high school 4 years ago to I'm almost 30 is a big ol' stretch. Finally in at number 1, Mila Kunis. Mila Kunis has been known to lie about her age from time to time, but one instance when she lied about her age where it actually paid off was back when she auditioned for That 70s Show. When she auditioned, the producers asked her age, and she told them that she was going to turn 18. What they didn't know was that she was actually 14 at the time. That's a pretty big age gap when you think about the fact that she was claiming to be almost a legal adult when she was actually an 8th grader. Mila's argument for justifying her lie was that she was turning 18, but she never said when. She would eventually turn 18, but that was just gonna be a little bit longer than they assumed. I mean, she's not wrong, but still. Obviously, this lie worked out in her favor as she booked the role, but man, it's a good thing she didn't get in much trouble for this.